Oh,
What's going on, guys?
What's up, guys? I'm doing the intro today. Just don't pay attention to what Des said. Today we're going to be going over Spring Offensive 9?
Yes.
9.
Believe it or not.
I thought it was 10.
No, it's so Autumn Justice is the first game.
Oh,
so it's going to be Autumn Justice 10. Good job, James. So it's going to be Autumn Justice 10,
right.
and then it's followed by Spring Offensive 10. It's always confusing.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Spring Offensive 9. We have Kurtap, Milfour's fearless leader, former fearless leader. He no longer has to babysit for you guys.
Still fearless, not a leader.
Yep.
All set with the leader.
Yeah.
And since Isaiah is there, and he has, he used a pair of eyes from the TAN team, Kofor, he is sitting in with us, and I'm just the moron that's always here, so I'm here as well.
There we go.
I'm the only one who didn't go to the game.
It needs to be someone I make TV intros.
Yeah.
Do you want to do our quick announcements of coming up stuff?
Oh yeah, so quick announcements is stuff you guys all love to listen to. We have our swap meet coming up on Saturday, so since Facebook is totally rad, and they've gone full liberal, we are offering a place that is Zuck free, where you can openly buy and sell your gats, since you can no longer sell them on Facebook, since Mark Zuckerberg is all our best friend. Also, July 2nd is the Fall of the Rising Sun. That is our World War II event. I'm personally writing that. So if you guys like game modes that challenge you physically and mentally, definitely stop by for that. But also, it's the 4th of July game, so it's going to be a lot of fun anyways. Because America.
But to iterate, because James didn't mention it, at this swap meet, you still can't sell to someone other than 18 years old. Yeah,
there has to be 2 people over 18 to represent you for a gun sale. So it doesn't exactly have to be a parent, but if you show up like with an older brother that's over 18, then you can conduct gun sales, because it still is illegal, even if it's on our property, to sell guns under 18. So just a reminder.
But yeah, turning on to today.
Oh, what's good, David? How you doing?
I really watching you do that.
Well, because if I don't acknowledge them now, just then I won't remember, and then they get all salty.
And then next thing you know, they're wearing your skin.
Like I said, on today's topic, like I said, we're talking about the about Spring Offensive 9, giving our after action report for it. I mean, overall, I had an absolutely fantastic time.
Absolutely.
I got wrecked. It was great.
Wasn't expecting that one, but you know.
Well,
I don't think anybody on Kofor was really expecting
to get wrecked.
that kind of level. I wouldn't say getting wrecked, but they weren't expecting that kind of performance, and you know, I think that it turned out a lot better for Group 4 this year.
Oh fuck yeah!
Absolutely.
Yeah, they definitely weren't expecting
better than
it.
most, like 96 to like 9 last year or something, or Autumn Justice.
I think it was actually like 96 to 16.
Or either way.
Ridiculous. Win a lot, lost by a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
But that's okay. That's why we live and run.
Just kind of. Not my circus.
Yeah. Right.
Monkeys.
No, I hear you there. Trust me. So yeah, what were your favorite parts of the game as a?
I don't know. Like it was
No
a weird
favorite.
game. It was different from like other ones we've been to. Like I was really impressed by how Group 4 is doing this year, as opposed to like during Autumn Justice. Like you guys, like the entire team. Like if anybody knows Group 4 is listening, you guys did awesome this year. Like we got wrecked. Like we got spawn trapped a few times. Like it was pretty good, but.
Yeah, that sand pit isn't so nice as everybody thought it was
It's
it?
terrible. I'd rather be out like way in whatever the
Everyone
valley.
always says that's like the best spawn.
It's
I
not.
look at
It's
the
just
map.
it's the best place to park your car.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
for real.
about it.
I would look at the map and I'm like, why the fuck would you want to spawn here? You have one way out.
I'm gonna throw it back in the day when the first time we played at UVG for I think it might have been Autumn Justice. Yeah, I'm not sure.
It was some number.
It's all a blur at this point.
Right.
I tried to describe what it was like playing at that CP and getting spawn locked the whole game, and I described it as being beaten over the head with a black velvet dildo. It's like, it's vicious, it's cruel, but it's still a little bit soft. It's nerve-wracking trying to get out of there, and you've got, you know, this school on one side, so you can't go too far into the woods.
Right, that's the
And
worst
then
part.
And then you've got the camping area on the other side, so you just have this big open road with a bunch of buildings looking out over it. Then it's like, well, they're going to know wherever we're going, so...
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's like towards the end of the game. me and the other Reaper units, the recon units, we set up like 6 of us along in the woods to the what is it, the east side of their line of advancement.
Sure.
And we kept people from getting out of spawn for like half an hour until we were like, all right, we feel bad, and we left. But it's that's a fucking shitty spawn to get out of once you get stuck in it.
And then that can just happen for hours on end.
Yeah.
Hours, maybe even games.
Yeah,
Just entire. Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't think I actually, because I had to miss a few games just due to school and stuff. I don't think
And playing on Co4.
Okay, yeah, that was one game. That was one mistake. I don't think I ever spawned.
Feels like more. Maybe that's just because the betrayal cut so deep.
Aw.
Yeah. Jeez.
No, literally, because all these guys were playing on TAN. I had no one to play with.
Yeah.
And
before me.
What?
That was before me.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it was me, Vinny, and I think Jake played on TAN that one year. We literally watched a box for 6 hours over at OLC, and the whole time me and Jake were like, we're never playing on TAN again.
And that's the thing that I hear from a lot of TAN players who switch over to the green side is it's more fun for different reasons, just because they're constantly under the gun, like fighting for the territory that they have.
Right.
So if you're into getting after it and getting into gunfights and stuff, I guess Group 4 is the place to be because they're constantly surrounded.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why like even Autumn Justice, we got like fucking spawn trapped for the entire game. I still had a freaking blast because it was like, okay, we want a firefight, you only have to walk 5 minutes. It was like, hey, firefights came to us. We can go shoot people, and we're right near spawn. So, but yeah, either way. What about you? What were your favorite parts from this couple weekends ago?
Well,
you were in the vehicle, we should mention that.
The vehicle was fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. It's, after a certain point, it becomes like fish in a barrel type of thing, like, you drive around, you shoot at kids, lather and repeat, a rocket, and you just kind of camp out for a little while. I didn't even get tired, like my legs weren't tired. I didn't feel like I was being dehydrated or anything. So I was like,
James would love it. Go around, shoot at kids. That's what he says like every other day.
No, and so like you're like, I should really be drinking more water. I think I haven't been drinking a lot of water. It's like, well, I haven't really been running around, so I guess I'm right where I should be. I think my most fun part was kind of that last offensive on Sunday, where it was just both teams entirely inside of the village.
I liked the ending script to this game a lot. It was a really good ending.
Yeah, there was a lot of the only problem with what happened at the end of the game on Sunday was we were in a completely dominant position. We occupied all territory inside the village. The problem was the person that we had to capture, that they had the UN commander. He was on the other side of our limited approach boundary. So we couldn't possibly advance more to go get him. So we decided to retreat a little bit and let them bring him up to us. Except once you give KO4 an inch, they take a mile.
Right. They are good at that.
Yeah, give them a rope, they think they're a cowboy or something. And so we kind of got beaten back a little bit from there and ended up in like a 1-1 stalemate. But I think it ended
well
in a satisfactory way.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I always look at it where I'm like, okay, the score is what the score is. I look at it as, did everyone have a fucking good time? And in my opinion, it seems like everyone did. Even TAN guys were like, it was an awesome weekend. So, TAN.
That's not what Isaiah said when he came into the store.
No,
I'm like, hey Isaiah, how was your weekend? He's like, it sucked.
I can't say it's like I don't know. I was satisfied by the competition. I feel because like last Autumn Justice, like we would just roll dudes and they'd be like, "Wow, I want to switch to TAN." I'm like, "Well, this is not fun." Like,
Right.
I want competition. I
go there to shoot people. I want people to shoot.
Exactly.
It seemed like a lot of TAN players walked off the field once we started beating them back a little bit.
Yeah,
like they were like, "This isn't what I was used to."
I was like kind of sad about that, to be honest. That's why we ended up moving back from the line of advancement where we were kind of spawn trapping a little bit. Is we heard over the radio like, "Oh, half the TAN team left," and we're like, I was like, "Oh, I'm an asshole." And apparently, you're telling me like I hit like Brennan in the face right before you guys left.
He saw you. He's like, "Oh, it's Des," and then you just shot him in the head.
And you guys were like, "All right."
Hey, Des.
It happens a lot.
No, just being in the village watching TAM players trudge back to their CP, you're like, I know that walk.
Yeah,
That
it's
is a walk of shame. But hey, the players that stuck around were the ones that wanted it. So
yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah.
It was, and like I said, that end of the game fight was the best. I remember I was it was like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 minutes left, and I was hit. Jake needed to respawn and stuff like that. And I was walking back, and I was like, we'll just walk up the field. There's like 7 minutes left. There's no reason to do. And Gordon came up and he's like, you better not fucking leave right now.
What, to you?
Yeah, because he definitely saw that, like, I'm leaving, like, I'm about to walk off the field stance, and he was like, don't. Because he had all the fucking fireworks and shit. It was pretty sweet. And since smokes were banned for like 95% of the game,
except for apparently the end.
Yeah, in town they were. So he, like, the last like 15 minutes, he was like, smokes are okay in town. And so everybody had like fucking 30 smoke grenades they didn't use all weekends.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw the pictures. It was like, it actually looked like a smoke screen over the field.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
I don't know how I feel about that colored smoke though. It stains everything. I was like, oh, smoke! I'm not running through that. I'm gonna go around that. It's totally unproductive.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming there.
No, you ever seen the ground afterwards? It's just completely
it's like a
stained.
paintball
And everything near it is just.
Oh yeah, when I was down in the Guardian Center, someone threw a smoke grenade right at my feet, and I was dead. So I'm like, can't fucking move. And so it was, it like went off on my fucking boots, and they were black boots, and there was just, and it was orange. So there's like an orange streak mark on me. Like I eventually moved out of the way after it had been on for a couple seconds, and I'm like, wow, that's never gonna come out. It's still in there. Yeah. It's paint. It's basically paint that's on fire.
It's dye. It's like, I learned the hard way. One broke in my house, and I was like, oh, let me just wash this up. And like a drip of water hit the pile of dust. No. And it was like I painted my floors. And it took me like an hour and a half to fucking scrub this stuff off my floors.
Oh god, I hope mom and dad don't come home.
Literally, my little sister was home. I was like, we don't speak of this.
Don't beat me.
Right, but or all the smoke grenades that weren't allowed that somehow still managed to light forest fires.
I thought that I set a fire because we rolled up on a building that as a vehicle. I was on vehicle, and we rolled up to this building, and we're exchanging fire with somebody in this building, and we're just not hitting him. And so we pulled out our pile of tag rounds that we weren't able to use, which is a different story. And I fired a Reaper at him. I'm sure it's about the tag rounds, but
yeah. So many people bought tag rounds, and then I heard the sigh of disappointment when Cobalt during PCI was like, "Yeah, don't use the tag Reaper rounds," and everybody was like,
I could talk at length about that, but the point is, it was a Reaper round. I don't know, like from when on vehicle crew we were told no Pecker rounds because windshields. But so we had this Reaper round loaded up, and I tried to aim right at the window, but I sailed right over the building, and it went into the woods behind the building, and it exploded. And then a couple seconds later, they had called a ceasefire on the field.
Oh, God.
And I thought that I'd set the woods on fire. I'm like, oh, no, that's it for me. I'm a jerk. But it turns out, and I was much happier about this, it turns out that it had missed the building, landed in front of a kid's face, and exploded in his face.
Oh, my God, are you kidding me?
And he was in such shock that they had to call the game for a second because he didn't know what happened. And at least nothing set on fire is all I have to say.
Oh my God.
So I guess...
So they called ceasefire because you face fucked someone with a grenade?
I guess so. I never saw the kid, but...
That's actually kind of amazing. That's great.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was... And, it's not... I ended up actually NDing a tag round into my own chest by accident. One of the CO2 tag shells... my launcher had an issue with the plunger, so it wasn't pushing the pin all the way. It was just half pushing the plunger. And so I thought that they were like not gassed or something. And you look, and the little plunger on the back is like half pushed in. I'm like, okay, there's no gas in it. And so I'm just kind of like fiddling around with this thing, idly talking to somebody, minding my own business. And it's pointed right at my chest. And I guess I pushed the rest of the plunger down the rest of the way, and it just boom, like right into my chest. and it was a Reaper round too. And so first I had to get over the shock of just shooting myself in the chest with a baseball, or like the force of a baseball, and look down and see this sizzling round on the ground, and I'm just like, run, and we ran and it exploded, and then I was like, I wonder if that broke any ribs. That's
got to be like the border of things that you can allow in airsoft. Those are some powerful.
Well, that's like
I have to say, the CO2 tag, like we were told no pecker rounds for vehicle use because there was concerns over it breaking the plexiglass windshields, and at first I was salty about that because we had bought exclusively pecker rounds just for that purpose. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, wait a second, like, we don't have windshields on our vehicle. If somebody shoots this at us, I'm going to be really upset if I get hit by this. Like,
that's a fair point.
If somebody shot me with a CO2 tag round, a pecker round even, and it hit me, I would fight them. Like, that is not a legit way to, like, skirmish with somebody. It's painful. Those things go like 300 yards and don't stop.
They're rifling on them. It's crazy.
And like I really started to see it from an objective standpoint. Like the CO2 rounds just maybe
a little bit much,
a little bit too much. It's like airsoft has always been an arms race.
Sometimes
for like the most painful stuff, and you saw it with Polar Stars. People were like, my gun can shoot 600 feet per second. It can break windshields, and it's like, okay, well, my 37 millimeter foam rocket can break windshields now too, and it's like.
You have to consider the line.
I guess we don't do that anymore.
Right. Well, that's like with the smoke launcher that I made. Is that like at full power, it launches in a Enola Gay like literally like 400 feet. And it was one of those. I was like, I got to be real careful to like not hit somebody with this close because
knock them out. And then
I wouldn't want it. It's like it's a 120 gram grenade.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to get hit with something that can go 400 feet.
Like, did you end up calculating the joules on that?
I did.
And it was probably
89 joules.
for those of you watching, for reference, 400 FPS with an airsoft gun is 1.89 joules. Yeah, so it's basically 30 times, a little bit over 30 times that much of getting hit by an airsoft pellet.
I would be upset.
Yeah, its exit velocity was like 36 meters per second, so like 120 FPS.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get hit by that. I did launch it once before smokes were banned, and I was like, there's some tan guys in OLC, and I was like, coming up on it, I looked around the corner, I'm like, all right. It landed there, so I was just happy to use it once.
Yeah.
I would have to say, getting back to what we were talking about initially, my favorite part of the day had to be beginning of Sunday when we pre-deployed as recon units into the town to try and just hold that stupid beam for like another 20 minutes or something. And so Fast Team, I can't remember if Fast Team was there. I think Fast Team was there. And then we had the 3 recon units because unfortunately the Horseman guys that were running recon had left. But, and we set up about like maybe a third into town, and we saw that the tan recon units had also set up on the other side of town.
Oh boy.
So we're like, this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it's like, what's it gonna be, guys? What's it gonna be?
So literally, game starts, we engage the tan recon teams, we're kind of both holding each other off a little bit. And then tan guys start rolling through, green guys start rolling through, and it was just a beautiful start to the game. And at one point me and Jake had moved up a little bit further in town. And it was literally, it was great, because I'd come around and be a whole bunch of tan guys, like their backs to me. And I'd take out like a squad of guys. I'd literally come back in the building to throw a new mag in, and by the time I came back out, like another squad had moved to their positions. And then, I'm so mad. At one point, so I was about halfway through hitting guys, and like 2 guys right next to me. And I dry fired, and I was like, crap. So I came down, I pulled my pistol up. And as the time I pulled my pistol up, they had turned around to look at me, and I went to go fire. And the thing about the HK-45, if you're between safe and fire, the hammer will click, but it won't actually shoot. Ooh. And so I went click, and I went, oh. And then I just got fucking blasted. So mistakes were made, but it was still fun the whole time.
As long as they didn't laugh in your face, because that happened to me once.
Oh, really?
Was that where there's a video of you getting real pissed off
Oh no! That's completely different.
Okay.
We don't need to bring that up. It was at Fitchburg one time, and there was guys on the rooftop of the building that we were trying to take over, and so they didn't know we were below them at the ladder. So we had the element of surprise on the ladder, and I can hear them goofing off like airsofters usually do when they don't have things to do for a while. And so I pulled out my Mark 23. But the thing is, if you have the Mark 23 resting, like hammered down, if you lean on the hammer, it'll vent the gas from your mag. So my mags had been empty the whole time, and so I climb up this ladder. I'm at the hatch, and I'm at these guys' feet with the Mark 23, and I go click, click, and they hear the pistol click, and they look down and they just start laughing at me like ha 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 ha, and I'm like ah! And then, you've probably seen videos, like, you know how it goes.
Yeah, of course.
Never used that pistol again.
Terrible. Oh my god.
So that's when I switched to the FNX.
Oh, that's disappointing. That is funny, though.
Yeah, it was like it was like a living nightmare. Just people like showing up to school naked or just showing up without any gear, people just laughing in your face because you can't get them.
That's amazing. Which game was that? I'm curious.
One of the Fitchburg ones.
He's done like 8 games there at this point.
Oh,
It was. I think it was like Breaking Bad 1 or something.
Cool.
Mm.
Yeah, I need to start hitting up bigger games like that again. That was pretty fun at Patriot too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see that one up in Maine. So originally I thought it was going to be really lame, but I looked at it from Google Earth's 3D view, and I looked at it from an angle such that I was actually able to get a better idea of the scale of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And like I looked at what was a loading bay, and it's a massive facility. Like it's at least 400,000 square feet.
Oh,
easy.
I thought you were telling me it was like 200,000 or something.
No, I looked it up. I found this there's always these weird people that document these abandoned places that no one cares about. And someone had like an up to date square footage of the facility. No pictures though, but it was pretty cool. So I think I'm going to be hitting up that game. Hopefully I get the day off if Danielle's watching.
Yeah, I might want to go to that depending where I'm at, kind of thing.
Yeah, don't forget to ask for those days off, James.
Yeah,
you wouldn't want to miss a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
I gave you so.
For sure.
So many people were like, "Where the fuck's James?" I was like, "He's a moron."
Yeah. I was pretty upset with myself on that one. Are you gonna go to that night game? On UBG, it's June 24th. It's like Operation Blackout 2.
I wasn't planning on it.
From 6 to midnight.
Could probably check that.
A lot of guys from Dirk are showing up. We're just gonna gen 3 the whole thing.
Yeah, probably with you guys just so I don't end up on the wrong end of that. Yeah, no, the field's only like 40 minutes from my place, so.
Yeah, fuck yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely just went over.
Fucking like hour and a half or more from here.
Yeah.
But so kind of the other side of things is what's something that you wish was a little different with SO9? Because AAR both have both sides of this.
I'm not even sure. Like, we did like the Code 4 thing where we just ghosted on objectives for a long time for like the first day.
I hate that.
For the entire night game, we were just sitting at this one objective with like no contact or anything. Like
The whole first day?
Like the first day was, we had like very minimal. Like we got into one good situation where we hit multiple areas, like even around Group 4 spawn. Like that was with a vehicle and like the command, me and my squad. That was an awesome experience, but that was probably actually my favorite experience. But
Nice.
The rest of the day was just sitting on objectives like always. So
that's why I play recon units. Recon units, you get to an objective, you're like, someone else can hold this. I'm going somewhere else. But fair enough. What about you, Pat?
Most of what I think could change with the game doesn't really. Well, okay. Here's something.
Did he tell you not to ask him this question?
No. It's fair enough because I'm familiar enough with the series where
Right.
like I did actually read the op board for this one. And I wasn't even commanding, but it's not so much with like the dynamic of the scenario or how Stag Ops runs the game. I just feel like players should really narrow down their camo choices. That's never going to happen, but like I feel like it should maybe kind of sort of happen, especially because I almost shot so many people on my own team just because they were wearing ATACs or something.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about that the other week of how wearing ATACs, you have to accept you're going to get friendly fired at some point.
Right.
But it works really well.
It does, except when you get shot by your own team.
Yeah.
Let's see. Something that I wish would change that isn't anything to do with Stag Ops, it's more to do with like the Group 4 team is just the meme softing thing that's taken over.
Yeah, I saw that. People
so
were posting
bad.
in the groups like the Kyrgyzstan flag.
Yeah, like I don't want MSNBC to start following our team because it could be a possible hate group, you know. They're like, oh, and then the Kyrgyzstanis also have a militant division where they yell memes and shoot BB guns at each other.
Yeah, they're training.
Yeah, exactly. It's
a good point. I didn't realize that, that because they have such a bad light. Because like, what, Pepe the Frog is now a hate symbol, right?
Yeah, no, his animator for the comic that he originally appeared in, like, legit killed him off. So, like, because he didn't want to be associated with him anymore.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
The
internet's such a silly place.
It's such a silly place, and it needs to just stay in the internet. Where it's like Airsoft is Airsoft, memes are memes.
It's the chair softing thing. Right?
Yeah, it's got a little bit ridiculous for me.
It was, I'll agree with you.
Yeah, I heard the campgrounds like Friday night were a little bit. I mean, like I'm all for like.
They had a little bit of a chant circle going.
I do not go on Friday nights.
I'm all for like getting drunk and yucking it up with the boys. The night before, but like I heard there were like air horns going off at like 11 o'clock at night. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, no, there's a point.
Yeah, well, I feel like that was. I wonder if it got a little bit worse because of the whole you had to have a cell phone on the field thing. And I saw plenty of people like to capture objectives. And I saw people literally just like sitting on there on Facebook in the middle of the game, like, oh, I captured.
Wasn't that one of your concerns going into the game?
Yeah, I absolutely saw it happen.
I mean, I don't really have like my cell phone's always with me on the field, anyways. In fact, like if you went to my YouTube channel, there's helmet cam footage of me swiping on Tinder while I'm there. And
them born babes.
No, it was actually in Pennsylvania, so it was even more sparse. I didn't even have good cell phone reception.
you should have seen the hits Greg was getting when we went down to the Guardian Center.
Yeah.
In Georgia, he was on Tinder and he was like, "Oh yeah, like check out this." It's just the most hideous thing you've ever seen in your life. Swiping right on him. It's not related, but it was the best.
Tinder can't wait. Airsoft Tinder is the best. Because people see that and they're like, wow, he really just does not give a fuck.
Pussy above all.
Yeah.
No, I think we're all four of us at this point are kind of that like we go to play Airsoft and just like they're basically over it. Like we go there to have a good time, but we're over like the super duper like I gotta be Milsim Max and I have to be miserable, otherwise it's not.
Like, I'll take it seriously when it matters. Like if I'm in a situation where feasibly in some like weird reality this would actually happen to me, like I would want to come at it with a real steel mindset and like
But at the same token, like
but at the same time, I'm not gonna beat myself up for the rest of the day. Be like, yo, I can't believe I lost that objective. Like that was crazy. I can't believe that I did that. Like, no, man, it's whatever. You lose a firefight, it's all right.
Oh my god.
Like when we were in Virginia, right, and we were stuck in that gymnasium.
Oh yeah.
And at one point, we'd been there the whole night, and like I had taken over as squad lead for our squad, which might have been a little bit silly, but I was like, yeah, we've been here all night, we gotta get out of here. So we told the PL, yeah, we're rolling out, and he was like, hey, is Durka still down there? And I like fake looked out the door, and I was like, yeah, I think so. And you guys had left a while ago, so we left, and then we got back.
No, we stayed there overnight. I slept in the gymnasium from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. was my sleep shift. Yeah, we were there all night. Yeah.
No, so then you might be able to relate to this. Once we got back to our CP and started like gearing down and kind of getting food into us and stuff, we found out that the other team rolled up like 15 minutes after we left.
That was in the morning. Yes. That was in the morning.
And we were like, ooh, wow, that's a shame.
Yeah. We left at about it's like 7 o'clock or so. We left that and we're just like, hey, so we're leaving. We've been here literally all night. So send someone to be there.
We ain't seen shit.
Yeah, we're really all set. And we left, and then of course, like an hour, like we actually took like a little nap, I think, in the CP. That was an awesome little CP, like the whole building.
Yeah, everybody
sweet.
had their own rooms.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Cool.
No, it was really cool. They had like like an administrative building that was too far out of play, and then you could literally just set up. There was like 4 stories of thing. It was an amazing.
My team took a room on the 2nd story, so we could like see out, and nobody wanted to go up there, and so we were just chilling by our.
Nice.
Froelich knew where we were. He found us plenty of times, but that was like one time we went in. We're like, all right, everybody, we're gonna take an hour off. We're gonna just gear down, eat some food, and we'll get back out there. And like 30 seconds after I said that, Jeff Froelich comes up the stairs. He's like, "Hey, I need you guys out there right now. We're doing a push, and we need you guys out there. We're moving right now." And then he looks at me. He's like, "Can you do that?" I'm like, "Sure thing. Yeah, okay." And he left, and my teammates are looking at me like, "Didn't you just say we were taking?" I was like, "You try looking down the barrel of a loaded Froelich. It's not easy, man. The guy's intense."
Well, it's funny. It actually reminds me of something that happened at Spring Offensive. Jim APOC wanted us to get some eyes on their build site, and then Sunday morning, I don't know where the intel came from, but everyone was convinced that KOFOR's build site was GBX. Which I kept saying, that really doesn't make any sense because ours would be IBX if theirs was GBX. I'm pretty sure it's CP112. And everyone's like, no, we saw it. It's at GBX. I'm like, okay. So we bushwhack because they had OLC. We bushwhack all the way along the ridge to get all the way to GBX when we get there, and there's nobody there. There's no parts, nothing. And it took us forever to get all the way around. And so we radio in, we're like, yeah, GBX isn't their build site. There's nothing here. And he's like, oh, just come back to IBX then. And literally, we all looked at each other and we're like, no one heard that, right? We just pushed right to, we pushed it to CP112 and then got tagged out and walked back to spawn. But we're like, we didn't just spend like an hour bushwhacking to come up to nowhere and just walk back.
No, that's, what was it? I sure hope APOC isn't watching this because we went bushwhacking one time. We brought like one of his command squad with us, bushwhacking over to like the paintball field to get something. And we just in this waist deep brush, just trudging the whole way. And we finally got there, and then we get the call. He's saying, I need you to redirect back to oil or something. And the guy's like, and I reach over and I shut off his radio. And I'm like, see how easy that was?
Sounds like us. That's shit that we do. We're just like, you know what?
I didn't hear that.
That's the difference between green and tan. Is we're just like, no.
It's really hard to do that as like the comms guy though, because like I guarantee comms set up like with my team and with command, and it's always like, I didn't get that. It's pretty clear it's bullshit.
No, it's like, no, we came to do something. We're gonna go do that, and we'll see.
Whatever.
But yeah.
I don't think it was mentioned. What was the final score? Actually, I guess I can pull that
talk
up.
about scoring in the AAR.
Yeah. Someone mentioned, what about the spring offensive 9 AAR? I'm like, oh yeah.
I believe it was 396 to 315.
It was actually close because
it was
close.
It was like 354 to.
Wasn't it a crazy?
It was like 354 to 327. I want to say something like that.
Let's see. We're sharing one of the groups. Let's see who can find it first. So 357 to 316, but then wasn't that changed at one point?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah,
didn't Gordon change it afterwards because he found like some violation like at this? Because like of course like the losing team is going to see that and they're going to go back to the like op order and like nitpick every single rule and be like, well, there's this violation, that violation.
Because nothing says I want to upset the entire game like getting it like a Disney movie where they're like, oh, and at the last minute or like when Dumbledore's like 5 points for Gryffindor and all of a sudden they won the House Cup. Is that dorky? I don't know.
No.
I feel like I know who I'm talking to on the internet here.
It is internet.
Yeah.
Here, I'll throw it up on the screen capture.
Screen.
Yeah, it's not that name for it. What the fuck? How do I get rid of this?
Maybe you should really get this thing going
Where's this
before
remote?
you start the podcast.
Well,
we did try it.
And then we had this error, or not error, but thing. Where's the remote? Isaiah, can you grab the remote from me real quick?
Isaiah, get.
You want to just click the end, or just click.
I don't think that's the right remote. Oh man, this is embarrassing.
Whatever.
Our view count is falling. It's actually not.
No. So
can't possibly be less than 0, right?
Actually, you
Possibly less than 0. No, people are calling up others and telling them like, don't watch it.
Yeah, no, don't tune in. It's bullshit. They can't even get the team. This is amateur hour.
Right? No, but probably one of the funnier moments for me for the event
Where?
was Isaiah. That's the wrong remote. I give it.
Is it the white one?
That's for the AC.
Okay. Whatever. Doesn't fucking matter.
All right. Can't you mirror this screen?
Well, I can still like make it happen. I just won't be able to see what I'm doing. So if I go like this and like this. So here's the final scores.
See? Look at that.
Except I need to make. Oh. Yeah, there we go. 357 to 316.
That was the same, yeah.
And then this is, I believe this is the bonuses, right? And yeah, I didn't look too heavily into this yet, to be honest. Like I said, I don't care that much about scoring.
Now what?
This TV.
Oh man!
Okay. It's playing. It's
In-stream entertainment. Look at this.
literally playing Lord of the Rings right now.
And then you have to wait 5 seconds for it to turn off. Man, this is great.
Wheels are coming off the bus.
Right? God. No, I was saying probably one of the funniest moments for me at Spring Offensive is we were looking for the last couple pieces of the Vector, or whatever it was called.
Something.
And is we found one of them, like the I-beam things were pretty heavy. They were like, what, like 40, 50 pounds probably?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you consider that heavy. I mean, I know James doesn't. But...
Well, it's a little hard to carry a gun and that, especially because they were like 8 feet long. So I'm like, I would call him for Jake over the radio, and his radio was having a little bit of issues all weekend. So I'm like, Jake, come here. I need like a hand bringing this to here so we can have guns up. And I guess he was tagged out at this point. And I call my friend Chris over, because again, there's 3 of us in the recon team. And he's like, oh, do you want me to carry the other end? I was like, no, we need one gun up while we're fucking like running through this field. So I'm sitting there lugging this like 8-foot steel I-beam on my shoulder as I'm fucking running through the field with gun in hand. I'm like, I'm going to break. Feel free to come on in, Jen.
You all set in the store?
I have
someone. Real MVP. Gotta be me.
Yeah,
I have a story.
You're a real MVP?
No, well, actually that way.
Wait,
too.
I don't know.
I have a story about the
Alright,
the
thank
parts.
you.
We were told to patrol.
Did you lock the doors?
Yeah.
We were told to patrol a certain area and try to
Probably
find
fine.
pieces to the array.
Yep.
And we found something, and we started bringing it. They're like, "Oh no, that's not it." And then we like start walking away, and we see another group bringing that
same piece
to our array. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, the I really want. Oops, sorry.
Oops. Yeah.
Oh no.
Here you go.
This is
Here, I
crazy.
think
I have enough battery.
But so obviously a lot of game mechanics changed this time. In my opinion, a lot for the better. What's your opinion on it overall? Like, what change did you like?
I think the scoring thing was alright. Like the whole like phone like that. I don't know. I think that worked pretty well, decently well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
I don't have any input on the scoring just because as vehicle I wasn't able to capture buildings or really score anything. I was really just there to
Right, like
scare people away. Like hey, get out of there, you. And,
yeah, I would say actually more like the gameplay mechanics, things like the I usually used to be broken into like phases.
Mhm.
It was more so like a continuous. It felt more of a continuous game this
right,
time.
like the game didn't stop. It was just day 1, day 2.
Right, and I personally really liked that change.
Mhm.
I thought that it just kept the overall flow, and like you had an end goal of building this thing and ground capturing. It just
Like there was a very tangible goal for the entire weekend.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
I loved that. I thought that I think it added overall to people's energy, and also it was this tangible goal of like, okay, how close are we to reaching it?
Mm-hmm.
Where I feel like what kills green a lot is people are like, well, we don't really. It feels like a lot of people who play green, they're like skim over the
Really?
order, are like, okay, we need to go capture stuff, but then they have like you said, no tangible, like how things are going.
Plus they're like, yeah, we're
what-
probably not going to win anyways, so why even?
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, like something like you could have a fucking progress meter on. We're like, all right, how many parts do we have? Like, what more do we need to do? And it was much more easy to get people to like move ahead with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I personally also really liked the pre-registration aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it may have not gone over the most smoothly on the first day, that wasn't anybody's
Well,
fault.
that's
really.
first generation.
Exactly. But overall, like it felt like it was a 400-person game. It didn't feel like we lost half of green team on before day one even started.
Right, like when there's that incentive to not miss the game, you know.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, I missed the game, I'm out $25, that kind of thing.
Right. And so it definitely, and I think a lot more people came back Sunday than usual. Usually it feels like both teams are diminished by like at least 20 to 30% on day two. But because everybody paid for the whole weekend, I really not many Sunday dropouts.
Yeah, they might be like, they're like, might as well be there. I already paid for this, so.
Right, well, they weren't paying any less for one day.
Right,
So,
exactly.
also, just with the whole ticket thing and it being in such high demand, like there was always a high demand for the tickets the entire time because there was hiccup issues with the website or I don't know.
Right.
But so the people who actually committed to getting tickets or, you know, trying to go to the game were probably the ones who were more likely to stay for both days anyways, whereas in the past it was just somebody putting their name on a list and they're like
they just want to hold a spot.
Yeah, just a placeholder.
Go.
Exactly, yeah. So you get the more serious players and everything, and you don't know if people would have left the second day because the people who would have didn't get a chance to go.
Yeah.
Right.
I've said this in the past, I can't believe how fast the tickets sold out for this event. I was like blown away. It was literally like a day.
We were all kind of surprised that the tickets were as huge of a success as they were. Like we thought, okay, now that we've attached money to it, it'll slow down, right?
Yeah, that's what Gordon said every time I talked to him about it. He's like, I really don't know. Like, I think it'll be good. I'm expecting really quite the low turnout for this. And it was quite the opposite.
And he's like, I remember him telling, I'm prepared to run like 100 or 200 person game if it comes to that.
Right.
It was not. That was not the case. I remember his.
He's too humble almost about his games.
Right? James got out of work and I was like, hey, you bought a ticket, right? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, they're sold out. And he's like, what?
Yeah. So I checked up and there were like 50 tickets, and like when I refreshed it, it was like 45. When I refreshed again, it was like 43. I'm like, all right, I'm just real quick.
Damn butt.
Yeah.
That's why he does that.
So that-
This is my favorite thing. He does that, and then proceeds to go, hey, I didn't have enough time to buy a ticket. Can you buy one for me?
Yeah. Well, I tried to do it for my phone, and it didn't work for my phone. I tried every single I tried for a while. I was even like driving home, like trying to get this shit to work. So I just asked you to do it.
That's illegal, Dan. But
Yeah, well, I pulled off to the side. I said I was driving. I never said I was in a moving vehicle. I was driving. Yeah. If you're watching Mom and Dad, I hope they don't watch this stuff.
Much disappointed.
They're like, what's my kid up to?
They're like, is he up to trouble again? He's up to no
I
good.
heard you cursing so much.
Oh my god. Oh, it's actually wicked funny.
grounded
If you
once
go on
again.
YouTube and you put on like the restricted viewing, none of our podcasts show up because we swear. I was like, oops. Whatever. It's okay.
We try to keep it like not horrible.
Yeah, right?
But we're adults, and we're talking about an adult game, so get
It's
over
okay,
it
right?
for the most part.
Exactly. So most memorable point of the weekend, Isaiah.
Like I said, when we pushed through, we hit Tegan, we hit, what was it, UBX or something like that, that one valley area where we heard there was 2 platoons, but there was just 1 squad sitting there.
Oh,
We
actually,
hit that, and then we went the Group 4 backfields.
I have to
think
ask.
this one I had.
does Code 4 use completely different names for all the objectives?
Yes.
Ooh.
That's confusing. It's because we were sitting there in the woods and we were fucking hearing Tan like, oh, we gotta move here and there and here and there. And I was like, where the fuck are these places? Of course, then he pulls out an action. He's like, here is OLC, right? And they're like, and this place is UBX or like GBX. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks for clarifying for me.
Yeah. It's a whole bunch of coded stuff, essentially.
But,
Yeah, it's almost like it's good for people eavesdropping.
yeah, right? No, it was doing its job. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to confirm that's
Such
what was going on.
such an obscure concept.
Wow.
I've never even.
Wow.
It's like we should try that or something.
Yeah, crazy.
I think if I remember correctly, I feel like that was tried one year in Green, except no one knew where to go. Because
Everyone was probably so
coded
lost.
them.
Yeah.
No surprise, right?
Tricky stories. Every time we try something that might be a little bit more complicated than what people are used to.
Goes down the
Oh,
drain.
it's the
People are
worst.
just like, what?
Yeah.
cannot comprehend it.
It's so bad.
They're just like, just tell me where to go, and I'll just go shoot stuff, and that's what I'll do.
Obscure concepts like forming skirmishing lines instead of bunching up on a trailhead.
Don't even get me started. Oh my god. At least I saw something new this year that really surprised me. I saw people wearing green camouflage in the woods. I know, right?
And not in an open road.
Yeah, right? Let's change.
It's like a bad scene out of of an action movie where you're on the trail and you're running up to guys and you're going, "Get off the trail! Get off the trail!" And then you just see them all get mowed down by one shotgun, and you're like, "No!"
Yeah.
They were so young.
Yeah, it happens all the time with night vision too. These kids, they buy these nods and they're like, "Yeah, well, I have night vision. I'm invincible now."
And they just walk on.
Yeah, and they walk in full moonlight. Like there are shadows at night. And people, they don't realize that, and they're walking straight in the middle of these paths because they're like, "Yeah, it's night, whatever." I'm like, "Well, I'm here in the dark, and I can see you bright as day, and you walked right by me."
That was
You're a moron.
There was one point where the 2 or 3 of the recon teams were together, so I think there was like 7 or 8 of us, and we wiped an entire squad of tan wearing nods, and we were like, "How did this even happen? There's no way that we should have been able to do this." But all right.
No, he's just
No.
making talking.
Night vision isn't
Crazy.
Night vision
That's
isn't just this magic tool, you know.
I suspend-
Obviously,
I
we all know
suspended
that.
it because
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
like,
you have to use it.
Yeah.
it was like, when is the podcast? I was like, I don't know, when are you over?
Oh,
He
yeah.
was like, whenever you want, Daddy. And I was like, you're getting out of here. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. This is unacceptable.
Yeah, but
What
I
I-
agree though. No, just some kid talking trash in the comments. It's not worth mentioning. But yeah, no, some people think that night vision is a magic tool, and then
Yeah,
It enhances what you're already capable of. Like,
Yeah,
if you're
exactly.
sneaky, night vision will just make you more sneaky.
Yeah.
Like a couple.
Like I can only imagine Des with like a set of like sentinels.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
in the night.
I prefer the binoculars just for the reason you said, like accidentally walking into a moonbeam. I've done that before with like binocular
That's a good point.
setups.
That's a good point.
In fact, I got word afterwards from the other team, like, "Yeah, there's just some idiot walking around with night vision, like we couldn't see him." And I was like, "That was me." But no, like a couple of games ago at UVG for the spring offensive, I think it was. I was just the point man on a squad. I was the only one with night vision, and we were walking, and then a firefight opened up around us.
Oh my god.
Which we were like, "Are they shooting at us?" Okay, they're not. We were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I was like, "Listen, you gotta trust me. Just keep walking. Just keep following me. Keep walking. Don't shoot at anybody. Just keep going." And so we actually walked through an active firefight in complete darkness. And we get past the front line of it, and so now we're reaching like the auxiliary battle lines, and you can see people on the trailhead just sitting there, and they think they see something, but they can't really tell if it's a person, and so they just don't do anything. And you're like, "Oh my god, keep walking! Jesus Christ, he's right there!"
That's amazing.
Night vision makes magical moments like that.
It does.
But I
Oh my
hate
God,
it
it's the
so
best.
much because I'm like, I don't know, this is cool. This isn't $2,000.
Well, that's like James offered to
know
let
that
me
feeling.
borrow his night vision.
Yeah,
Like-
every time he goes to a game and I'm not there, I'm like, "You can use
And I'm
this."
just like, I don't want to walk around with $2,000 in my head.
Yeah.
I panic so bad.
That's funny because our team, like, if someone doesn't have night vision and they're not there, like, they're like, "You need to use my night." Like, they expect you to use their night vision. It's just like because
No,
it's a tool
Maybe
that we were
maybe next time
expected
that you're
to
not
be
in the game
to
and I am, I
use.
will. But
But
it just scares me.
oh yeah, no, I agree. But it does create those great moments. Like one time when we were down in Virginia, and we were in one of those buildings, and it's pitch dark, like no ambient light, anything. And I have my IR on, my Surefire on, and I just pie this corner, and there's this guy just tucked up on the corner, but he's looking dead at me, like his retinas, like he said, must be melting from this IR. I'm just like. And I just shoot him twice, and he's like, "What?" it's always the
That
best.
game was so great too, though, because like that was the first experience with Northern Airsofters that a lot of Southern guys had had.
Oh, that was crazy, and they didn't know what to
Like
expect.
they were like, "Yeah, we play Airsoft." And they're like, "No, but we play it.
We play it. We brought the pain.
I would dare say we don't even play it. We like
You live it.
Yeah, exactly. And same situation as you. We like actually, Kafir and Durka got caught up into a firefight on one ground floor, like down a hallway. We're just like both sides of the hallway engaged in a firefight. Just
yep.
And so me and another guy ended up being able to sprint to a staircase to get up to the second floor to get around to back to the other to where the guys were shooting from, and we're on the second floor and it's completely dark and we're just and my teammate just turns a corner and he's like nose to nose with one of the southern guys.
Oh my god!
And he's like, "You're dead," and the guy's like, "Oh shoot, are you wearing that night vision? You can see me right now? Can you see what I'm doing right now?" And then my teammate was like, and the guy behind you too, and the guy was like, "No! No way!" Yeah, those are those magical moments that you can have.
So before we return back to our topic, we're so bad at going on tangents here. I want someone to make like an IR tracer round. I feel like that would be really
I would
cool.
just put in a
Tracer
low
BBs.
battery into a low battery into a tracer unit.
Well, what
I
I-
charge the round.
One science experiment I want to do is to have tracer BBs, let them sit out in the sun all day, and then put them into my gun without a tracer unit. And under night vision, I would assume, because when we turn off the lights...
it takes like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
for
well-
them
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To charge up? Because
No,
when we
to
turn off
die
the
off
lights...
after you turn off the lights.
Oh, okay, because when we turn off the lights in here, they're still glowing, like underneath the desk. And I've always kind of thought, like, well, maybe I could just use them as tracers, but only consider night vision. But
I wonder if you were to
I don't know
charge
if
them
that
with
would
IR light.
Ooh.
that would be interesting.
That'd be a good
switch out
experience.
that thing that flashes
No,
with
that's
an
what we
IR.
should. We should get your illuminator and get a bottle of tracers and fucking blast them with IR light and see what happens if you look at them.
We
with
should
night
probably
vision.
stop talking about this on
Yeah.
game changer.
Yeah. IR tracer rounds. That'd be crazy.
Oh, it'd be so good. All right.
Who'd have thunk all you had to do was just charge it with IR light?
Yeah, right?
All we'd have to do is change out the LED in a tracer unit for an IR LED.
Yep. It'd be the same thing.
Okay, well, we're trying this.
And that's the end of that conversation.
next week.
Right? So, back to topic. Pat, what is your most memorable moment from the weekend?
Probably, I think, with the vehicle, we went to Fort Tig because it was under fire, and so we pushed up a trail, and of course, and KOFOR started beating feet. Like I'm sure they were retreating beforehand, but it certainly didn't help to have the vehicle at the back, so they were gone. So we circled back around towards Azrad and cruised up that way, and then went back to Fort Tig. And by the time we got back there, we parked, and I can see just this big, giant metal Hulk. Like,
Oh, is this what you put a video of this online?
yeah,
right?
I did.
Oh,
this is my
great.
helmet cam
This is
footage,
great.
and there's just this metal Hulk lurching through the woods. I'm like, Hummer, right there. And so we were trying to figure out how we're going to engage this vehicle, and we're like, okay, we're smaller, we're lighter, let's just drive at them. And so we go down this trail, and the driver's going like 3, 4. He's creeping along, and I go faster, faster, faster. And so he pegs it, and we just drive at them. And
Pegs it all the way to 10.
our grenadier just lets one off right into their front grill before they can even get their launcher out. And it's just like wham, done. Back up, park it,
Beautiful.
get set for the next one. And that was probably my favorite vehicle kill of the weekend, because there wasn't really much time for vehicles after that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Fair enough. That's pretty sweet. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Someday, if I make my, I told you what I want to do with the launcher I made, right? Yeah, I told you over chat. I want to make it into a Mark 19.
Yeah, an automatic. That'd be really cool. It's very.
It probably adds some salt to whoever was on the other side of it.
I just think it would be like. Then again, I'm not an engineering student. I don't understand, concepts like mechanical, function and stuff like that. So to me, that's wizardry. I would burn you at the stake. No one man should have this kind of power. Like I said to you, well, wouldn't it cost a lot for the grenades? You're like, I'll just make my own shells. I'll put in for my own shells. I'm like, do that.
Well, the launcher I made, that launcher that I had with me,
Yeah.
that cost me like $45.
Yeah.
Because it was just off the shelf parts. fucking put together.
No, like there's a database of just like SolidWorks stuff for Airsoft that you can even have it printed by like a third-party website and delivered to you. I'm like, this game has come along.
No,
somebody's like, oh, I need rail covers for my gun. I'm just gonna print my own.
You saw the ghillie I had in my gun, right?
Maybe kind of, sort of, no.
Either way, it's fine.
Well, then it did its job, right?
I guess it worked. It was like I was carrying nothing on my back. So what it actually is instead of putting the ghillie on the gun, it was a whole bunch of rail covers I printed that slide on, and they have loops to attach the ghillie to it.
Oh.
So I just there's a locking Allen wrench. There's a locking grub screw in either end. And I just unscrew the grub screw, and all the rails come off.
Wow.
So I can just throw ghillie on any gun.
Freaking technology, man.
I fucking love it. It came out so good. But I have to say, my most memorable moment, and again, this is just because I like accuracy from the weekend, is we were at the, actually, let's say I can pull up a map of, what do you call it? Wrong window. Pull up a map of UBG. I was at the fort that overlooks OLC? Like it's on the hill and OLC is a little bit lower across the valley.
Yeah.
I was sitting there and we were literally waving to tan guys sitting at sitting at OLC because we're like, yeah, we're way the fuck out of the range of each other.
Yeah.
Like, so we're like, oh, how's it going? We're like, whatever. They see us, we see them. We don't really give a shit. And eventually, all of a sudden, I was like, you know what? That guy might actually. Sorry, let me pull it over to the other window. I was like, that guy might actually be in range. So I was sitting here at this little, I don't even know what to call it.
I think it's the uranium site,
UR2 or something like that. I remember carrying sandbags from there or something like that. And the guys were over here at OLC.
Yeah.
And there's a guy standing like a little bit further forward, like about there. And I'm like, I might be able to hit him, even though again I was only shooting the 400 FPS max for this game. I wasn't shooting like the 500 my gun's capable of. Mm-hmm. And as you can see, it's like 312 or something feet. And I was like, yeah, let me just take a shot. There's two guys standing next to each other, and I just aim like miles above their head, and I'm like, and fire 3 shots, aiming for the one to the right. And I'm like, all right. I'm watching the pellet. I'm like, I think I hit them. And then they fucking both call out. So I guess the pellets just spread enough to fucking hit both of them. And I'm like, all right, I'm happy for this shot.
Airsoft doesn't work that way for me. Like everybody has all these amazing kill stories. Like, yeah, I came around the corner and shot like 20 guys. I'm like, maybe I'll shoot 5 guys all weekend. That's if my gun works. If it shoots flat and straight, like I'll spend so much money on a gun that just shoots level, and then something else is wrong with it, and then Des shows up and he's like, yeah, I was just like way too far away, and I just shot 3 AAR rounds into the air, and they called it. And it was, I wasn't expecting that.
To be fair, James knows how long I spend tuning my gun. I'll come here for like 3 hours, and I have a bag of like 20 different hop-up arms I printed.
Mm-hmm.
Each of them in varying sizes that he tests out.
So I vary the size of the concave and the length of the ramp and the degree the ramp engages in the hop-up. And I was just trying different hop-up arms until I was like, yeah, this one works well.
Well, also, wait, what is it called? The cytosonic wave or something like that? Or...
Oh yeah, so this is one that most people don't realize. Most people don't even put barrel spacers on their barrel. Mm-hmm. It's like if their inner barrel and their outer barrel are slightly different diameters, like the inner barrel wobble.
Right.
So some fairly experienced people will put barrel spacers on it, like just put a wrap of tape around it so it's
just
tighter.
So it doesn't wobble inside the barrel. Yeah.
But a lot of people, just because it's the way our brains work, they'll put them equally spaced because you're like, oh, this is the best. The issue is when, even with Polar Stars, which have a little bit of vibration, but especially with gearboxes, which whack, it'll still create a sinusoidal wave because you have 2 equally spaced gaps.
You can just call it a sine wave. You don't have to make me feel dumber than I am.
But it'll still create this vibration wave, which can affect accuracy. So you actually want 3 or 4 variably spaced spacers, and it'll disrupt any kind of vibration that tries to form on the barrel.
But wouldn't that just cut your wave into smaller segments?
No, because it can't form the whole way down. Mm-hmm. So if you had one that was like, exactly twice the distance, then yes.
Science.
But you do that one that's like, say, 1 inch. You do basically prime numbers.
Yeah.
So you'll do like 3 inches, 7 inches, whatever. and there's no way in which that wave won't intersect at a peak, and that causes the sine wave to just not form.
And how does the Fibonacci sequence?
No, I spend a lot of time looking into accuracy, as you know.
Yeah, I mean, if I worked at an airsoft field, that's probably what I would spend most of my time on.
Yeah, even though I don't even work here anymore, I just come here and hang out.
Yeah, he's not even on the payroll. He just exists here and does the podcasts.
Yeah.
We fixed the glitch. So you fired? No, we fixed the glitch.
Oh, I love it. But anything else to add? We got about 15 minutes left. Or no, we got a half hour left. My bad. Anything else to add from your event and your experiences?
I mean, that was basically like, we got wrecked. Like we kept getting surrounded. They'd like send us our like one squad out, and then Green would just surround us and then shoot each other. It's like, nice job,
Oh my
guys.
god, Green is so bad at doing
They killed
that.
like
At coordinating
an
with
entire
other
squad
squads.
worth of people.
Yep.
Or just
All
not
the
friendly
time.
firing each other ever.
It's like
I know.
Green. They're still shooting each other.
That's what, yeah.
Wow.
Probably.
Well, I can tell you that if it's green, if they're yelling green, they're like, are they yelling that they are
Are
green,
you
or are they yelling
yelling
that
that
there
you're
is green?
Yeah. No, and I love to do that. It doesn't work as well as with tan. I did do this the one year I played tan. I did this a couple times. That's fun. Is especially when you're running recon, is when you get tagged out. They're like, there has to be more of them because it never occurs to them that there's a 3-man recon team.
Mm-hmm.
So they're expecting like 8 more guys, and then every time they see movement, they just start engaging them. And then you just sit here and you wait like 5 minutes until they realize they're shooting at their own team, and then you just fucking retcon and walk away.
We'll all be dead, and we'll be on the radio like, "Hey man, like we're all dead," and we'll just be sitting there just going, "Medic, no," Medic, no. And they're like, and they're creeping up,
Oh, yeah.
like all slow, and we're just sitting there just dying. We're like, "Medic, no," and then they walk by us. This was the last autumn or spring offensive. And so they're like creeping up like real slow. At this point, it's like 20 minutes. We're just like we're almost pissing ourselves laughing because they just are so dumb. They don't realize we're just fucking with them. And so they walk right by us, and I'm like, I go to the radio. I'm like, you guys watch this. And I wait for them to go. I'm just like, medic, yes, and they all turn their guns. They're like, what? And we all fall on the ground laughing. We're like, ah! We just go like, yeah, let's wreck down, guys. We're done.
Usually I do something similar to that, but different. Like I wait till they get up close to me, and then I make a sudden movement with my gun, and then they all just freak out and point their guns. Like, yeah, I'm just
fucking with you.
So my favorite way to mess with tan is like, say there's like a road that they control or like woods I need to get through, is I'll just sneak to the side and just shoot one guy, and then I'll walk away. But the tan team is like, if there's somebody there, we must clear the entire woods. So I'll be like, oh, I need them out of that road. So I'll like go over into the woods and just tag someone and go like back towards the road, and they'll fucking clear the woods. And I'm like, all right, I'll just walk through that empty space now.
Well,
My favorite.
what was it? It was 3 years. I think it was 3 years ago. It was at Autumn Justice, and me and my guys, we ran green, and it was like the first engagement of the night. We were like, all right, this is going to be awesome. Green teams are moving out. We got new guys in our squad. We're freshly replenished. So we're on top of the road, and then all the way down there, we didn't know it was tan. We just had a bunch of idiots that decided to take charge. They were like, hey, are you guys green? They were like, yeah, we're green. So then it's like, all right, we're coming down to you. So we start moving. Next thing you know is just all you see is tracer units and flashlights hitting up, just lighting up, and you just see red lights all over up and down the road. I was just sitting there, I was like, holy shit! I was on a saw, thank God. So then I just poked over the ledge and started shooting. But like, it was pretty bad that they just nobody checked. They weren't like. Click, nope, that's not green. Now we need to go to town, so.
Well, nobody wants to be that jerk that hits their own team with a weapon light.
That's true.
But then again,
But that's why we have the call and the
response.
fucking like.
yeah,
call
but
and
then,
response.
then that always gets burned off.
Oh
so
my
now
God,
they catch
so
on to that.
I got we were sitting in a tree line, and then a technical just shined lights on me. They were like, blue! I was like, no one had told me what the... No one had said anything, so I was like, I was like,
Last spring offensive, our call and response was like, you said Matt, or someone said Scott, and you had to respond Matt. We have a Scott and a Matt in our
so they're like, y'all.
Scott, what? Scott, what? Like,
Yeah.
It's like, Matt,
That was a terrible
y'all,
decision.
what can I do for you? Yeah, that was
so funny.
You never know. Sometimes weird stuff gets tossed around. Like, what were we told at what was it at Breaking Bad? The first one. It was like
no idea.
It was like cock,
I usually just
and
don't
then
pay
something.
attention to
Like
that
if someone
stuff
told
over
us
there.
something, and they were
It's
like,
like,
they
no,
didn't
that
shout
thing.
cock back at us. We gotta shoot them. I was like,
Those
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
No, my call and response is they challenge me, and I know that we don't have one, so I just shoot them. Like that's how it's happened in the past. Same thing. We're going back to the night vision here. I met up with Durka, who had a handful of night vision. This was at Feel Good Farms back in the day. And we just kept picking up more people on this patrol. And we get to PCO or something where they were based up. And we're walking up, and this one kid who's like in a bush goes, "Lassie," and I go, "Burn him!" And we just like this poor kid. And he was the sentry, and we just creeped into their base, and we just started tagging guys. And the only reason they caught on was because all the red lights started clicking on, and they're like, "They're in the base! They're in the base right now!"
That's like
Blast them.
similar. This was I think a spring offensive, or maybe again spring offensive Autumn Justice. I never know which one it was.
Of course.
This was way back when at FGF, before everybody and their brother had night vision, and I remember there was this is back when I played with ShadowNet with Dan Cozy and all them.
Almost back in the day.
Yeah, right. A long time
I'm gonna
ago.
go check the refs closing list.
All right.
I am wearing my ref shirt today. I'll be right back.
So we were walking down a trail because whatever, this was a while ago.
Give me his computer.
And Tan squad was like,
Yeah, you can use my computer. I have both Facebook and YouTube up.
Oh, we can see that.
I'll talk to the biddies.
We can see that
What,
shit.
you talk to the people watching?
Yeah, we'll smack them in the face.
this other squad rolls up like 30 feet away, and neither of us knew what the other team was. So
That's not saying anything.
we hear we go Tan, like we're like, "Are you Tan?" But again, we don't know. And they go green, and then there's this silence. It's got to be like 15 seconds, and then we had learned what their call and response was. So we hear them really quietly say their call, and we're like, "It's Tan." And like 5 or 6 kids on the squad had tracer units. Mm-hmm. So like they literally say their response, and half a second later, you just see these streams of pellets flying over the tree line. Oh, it was such a funny moment. But it was a couple games later. Is your whole
He's like trying to answer questions. Like he was like, "Do you guys have an outdoor field?" And if not, the kid's like, "No," and I don't know. It's like, you don't even work here. You don't even go. You don't even play Airsoft. Stop it.
It's fine. They can chat in the chat, Dan.
They can chat. No, but they can't answer for me. I don't know who that is. They said hi, Chuckles. Hi. You didn't say my.
Returning to what I was saying is your story about the Reaper round reminds me. There was one time Dan's brother-in-law played one of these games. Alan, I think was his name. And this was back before like it was the whole "don't throw smokes over buildings" was enforced at FGF.
That's a name.
And my friend Jake and Alan were in a building, and they kept throwing smokes in, and they'd pick up the smokes and throw them back out. Well, someone then threw in a pea grenade, and this is like one of the first big games that Alan had played, so he just thinks it's another smoke, and he grabs it. And Jake was like, "No!" As Alan winds up to throw it back, and it explodes like here.
Back when they would actually go off.
Yeah,
I
right?
got some of those new generation plastic ones, and like
The R2Bs or whatever?
No. They're pea grenades, but they're plastic shelled instead of cardboard, and they have like a 50% failure rate.
What the fuck?
I was really
That's
upset.
like when Valken bought Thunder Bees,
Mm-hmm.
and they went from being like really reliable to just not.
You're like, "Will I fit the CO2 cartridge in this thing?" Now you don't know anymore. Stay tuned.
The best part, yeah, when Valken bought Thunder Bee, is they changed the diameter of the core a little bit. You know what Thunder Bee looks like,
Of course,
right? Yeah. And Rob was here, one of the salesmen for Valken, and someone had bought a Thunder Bee. The CO2 cartridge wouldn't fit into it. And he walked over to Rob and was like, "CO2 cartridge doesn't work." And of course it was Elite Force CO2. And Rob's like, "That's just because you're using Elite Force CO2. Like,
Vulcan does CO2?
right?
That probably
So
is
the kid
a
comes
ripoff.
in the store, buys a pack of Valken CO2. Fucking walks over to Rob, goes, still doesn't fit. And Rob's just like,
Hey, do you like swag? How about the fucking baseball hat?
It was just like, oh, I died.
I never used the Thunder Bees because,
You need to go find something after you throw it.
well, no, not that. Just because sometimes they just go off in your hand for like no reason at all.
Yeah, I know it's true. I did figure out how to stop that from happening. Is the original Inokatsu ones came with an extra washer, and everybody would just like throw it out, like, oh, this was just an extra part. The idea is there's two lengths of CO2. One is like a millimeter longer than the other. It's just like two industry standards. It's stupid. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to use that extra washer if you have the slightly longer CO2. Mm-hmm. And so people would put the CO2 in and crank the bottom in, and it would puncture it ever so slightly because it was too close. Mm-hmm. The cartridge wasn't long enough. And they put the fucking thing in their pouch, and like 20 minutes later, it would blow up because the CO2 was leaking at like the slowest rate possible.
Yeah, I mean, it might just be urban legends at this point, passed on through Airsoft generations. But like
many tales.
But like Thunder Bees in people's hands, exploding and just like rending flesh from bone or something like that, just from the force. That it's things I've heard, right. Never seen.
So James can tell you from personal experience that doesn't happen because I'm an asshole. His very first day here is the day Falcon released their Thunder V's, their replacements to the Thunder B's. And I was like, oh, let's see if these work. So I was standing up on the loft we have in the back room. I was like, hey, James, how's this look to you? I pull the pin and toss it to him. And the best part, look on his face. He catches it. And then you see him go, and as he's like pulling his hands apart, it just goes, like, you know when like cartoons, like you let go of something and it hangs there for a second. Yeah. We watched it back in the video and it was literally like a fucking cartoon, and he pulled his hands away and it was just hanging there right in front of him, just fucking goes off. Oh, best moment.
I like throwing grenades at teammates too. That's what. No, so the philosophy behind that is it comes back to me being an asshole, but it also comes back to me buying 2 cases of thermobaric
and having extras.
Yeah, just having these grenades to toss around. You know, after you like clear a building or you do something, you complete an objective, and everybody circles up and starts bullshitting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a good policy because there's still things to do. You know, that's how you get schwacked by the other team who's just waiting off to the side. So every now and then, every time when my team starts doing that, I'll just strike a grenade and drop it in the center of the group. And they don't have kill radiuses, so it's
right, exactly.
But you know, just to see everybody get on their toes again and like run away from it.
Yeah,
and I get a good laugh out of it.
Yeah, of course. Did you hear what happened to me and James and the rest of Durka at Patriot 2?
I did not.
Oh, speaking of throwing grenades at teammates, this is a fun story. We've told on the podcast before, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. Is we had cleared this building, which has 2 entrances. This room, I should say, has 2 entrances.
Actually, I have you guys on helmet cam footage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want to see that. So we clear this room that has 2 entrances, and we're stacking up to go out the second entrance.
If I bring up a different window, is it going to appear?
No, it's fine. Okay. If you drag it over to the side, I'll take care of it. But so we pull it up. Like I said, we're up on this second entrance, and there's like 2 squads of green guys in the room behind us at this first entrance. So like clearly no tans getting in this room without us knowing. And there's this guy. He's a platoon leader. And he's like, hey, you guys are too close. Grenade could take you all out right now. And we're like, yeah, but we're like stacking out to go out this door. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not going to be all over the room.
Be like, you're not my real dad, okay?
And he just keeps saying this, and we're kind of just ignoring him at this point. And he fucking throws an R2B at us, which does have a kill radius at Patriot, and fucking wipes our squad. Oh. We're like, okay, if you threw a sound grenade at us, we'd be like, oh, haha, like, we get it. Fine. You threw a fucking R2B at us and killed us all, and we're like,
trying to blow us up.
What a motherfucker! Like,
yeah, seriously,
like piece of shit.
Yeah, no, I don't have that video. I guess I didn't make it public on my YouTube, but it was Durka stacking up outside of a door, and they opened the door to go in, and then somebody from the other team throws a grenade out, and it lands at my feet. I follow the grenade with the camera, and it lands at my feet. And I'm like, and I just start turning around and running, and I dive like this. And
yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
I'm like, and like you see it go off, like 15 feet behind me. I'm like, whew, that was close. I don't know what happened to you guys, but whatever.
No, that was fun. That was taking that building was a good time.
Yeah.
I remember I climbed up the ladder to the second floor, and then it's like the grate floor.
Yeah.
I literally walked out into the second floor, and I looked down. There was a whole bunch of just tan guys like behind crates, and I was like,
Yeah, it was
literally like shooting fish in a barrel.
spectacular. No,
It was a good time.
it was like Grenade City at that
Oh
point.
my
It was
god!
like,
There had to be like what 2 or 3 grams worth of grenades thrown.
It was
What,
just-
a Patriot?
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Fantastic.
You just couldn't be in a building. If you were in a building, you're like, so how soon can I get out of this building and not be thrown thousands of dollars? Just like, hey, $15, $15, $15.
I used to wear like electronic ear pro earmuffs
I can't do those anymore.
I used to wear them so that one, I could like hear things off in the distance better, and two, so I wouldn't get shot in the ear. But now you have to wear them
Now you
because
need
you might
them so
actually
you don't
have
lose your
hearing
hearing
damage. Yeah. In that game at Fitchburg, we were trying to get onto the rooftop of another building, and I was like, let me just check to see if there's guys up here. And so, like an idiot, I didn't bring my gun with me. I just poked my head
I
up.
remember you telling me about this.
And there are guys up there. I'm like, oh shit, let me
I
get
don't
my
know
gun.
who this guy is. Who's Crazy Pyro 8? I don't know your name. Am I ready for the 8-year? I'm always ready for the 8-year.
Are you ready for the 8-year?
And so, like, I went back up with my gun to try and shoot them. And of course, they were ready for me the second time. So I just decided, maybe never mind. And so I go back down the ladder, but that wasn't good enough for them. So they just started dropping grenades down the hatch at us. Like, there was an R2B that landed between my teammate's head and the wall and just went off, like, right here
Oh my
next
God.
to his face. And we're like, this isn't good. We're just going to let them stay up there.
Yeah, right.
That's
They
fine.
got
You can
that,
have it, guys.
Right? Oh, what was I gonna say? Something about what do you wear for comms anyway nowadays? I know I bought your radio years ago, like a headset.
Usually just a Baofeng earpiece that it comes with. Like I try to stay with like one brand of radio parts because hopefully it'll work better with itself. But most of the time, what I end up doing is just ripping out the earpiece and using the lapel mic and turning it down really low. But
That's what I use.
Yeah,
It's just the
but
easiest.
comms, like I don't know, comms. I'm bad. I
fair
don't.
enough. That's why I like the. I've said on the stream before. I like the. Have you tried the bone conduction headset?
No, I'm usually kind of wary of alternative technologies like that, like the throat mics and everything, because people are like, "Oh yeah, throat mics are so cool," because they saw
Yeah, and then
they saw them using them in Tears of the Sun,
And you
then
listen to a radio, it's like, yeah, it's like fucking listen to Charlie Brown over here.
yeah, Charlie Brown's teacher, and I'm like, "Listen, I can't understand what you're saying," and so they just say a lot of, I'm like,
Tasty.
No, they were.
Are you chewing on your mic?
use a regular walkie.
The surprising, I was worried about that with the bone conduction thing, but everyone was telling me I came through clear as day, so I'll use that for now on. The nice thing is you don't clog an ear, like you don't lose the half a hearing thing. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, there was someone on my squad using a throat mic. Not my squad, one of the recon teams using a throat mic, and eventually we were like, Kyle, just stop transmitting over the radio.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Well, it wasn't even. It's like I said. It was just like, "Oh my God, we're over here. Am I over here saying?" It's like, all right, I can't.
These are great.
It's yeah. Yeah, like saying, anything that you want to add about Spring of Friendship?
You can list off your gripes about it.
Yeah, I mean, we all have
Anything
complaints
that
here and
really
there. I
pissed
know
you
you have
off.
a couple.
It's boring. Oh,
Not really gripes that I would air on the internet
Fair
personally.
Fair enough. All right.
I was a fan of it.
Sure. I hear
I don't
you.
know.
Yeah, I basically said everything I want to say about it.
Well, what the
Me
game?
too.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Just
well,
wish
your
my
opinion
teammates
is Spring
quit.
Offensive 9.
Stop with pulling the HDMI
Oh,
cord.
okay.
you
I
asshole.
thought you were just trying to like piss me off, like pull the thing back.
Mission accomplished.
Well, my thoughts were I had to deal. So the thing is, like, usually there's a couple tolerable customers here at Extreme Airsoft throughout the weekend, but all of my friends were gone. I had no one that I liked that entire weekend, and I worked through Friday through Sunday. I worked over 30 hours. And it was, I mean, I had Dan with me. Dan
We
was,
held it down.
Dan and me held it down.
We were just like,
we held down the
We're the
entire
only
store
two salesmen.
basically the entire weekend. And it was just rough because like all like the kids were just so rowdy, and there was like no older people there to just like destroy them and put them in their place. And it was
shut
just
them up for the day.
it was
Just be like, so this is what it means to be.
I was
wrecked.
so done by the end of
Just
Sunday.
night-graded GMR patches everywhere.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
their own fake GMR patches. Well, you may not be seeing them around. I'm not going to go into detail,
Yeah,
but they
that's
recently
not- you don't
they
need to talk
recently
about
got in trouble.
Isaiah, this kid's saying he'll still buy the Polar Star for $2. Lamau.
Okay.
I don't know who.
Um,
Just shout out to you.
but
Okay, that was
so-
my thought. And then actually, sorry to interrupt you, but
it's
then
fine.
Sunday, these kids that were on tan team, they came back, and I
They
know,
said they had a
I know
good time,
them.
right?
Yeah, but the thing is,
Yeah,
I was
so
here
cool.
on hour 28 of the weekend, and they're like, "Yo, spring offensive was crazy, yo!" And I'm sitting there giving them this like, "I will literally murder you in your sleep." And they're just like, you don't believe it. Like, oh my God, it was so crazy. Like, they just wouldn't drop it. And I'm just like, yeah,
I don't
that
want
sounds
anymore.
great. Like, my weekend was fun. And it was just, and they just wouldn't drop it. And I'd forgotten. I eventually left after my shift, and I came back, and like, one of them was like, "Hey, James, how was spring offensive?" And I'm like, you want me to hurt you? Like, I'm not on the clock right now. So that was my experience with spring offensive 9. And I later come to realize, I was like, wait a minute, they came back at 4 o'clock is when they got to it. Yeah, they left early. And they were talking up how the game was great.
It's like you missed the whole.
I'm like, all right, great job, buddy.
The game was great. We were there for almost all of it. I think it ended good, but I'm not sure.
I have to say, this is the first year I stayed in a hotel rather than just camping out.
Isn't it magical?
It literally made Sunday 100 times better.
It's great to just be able to sleep in a bed and take a shower.
Yeah, it's literally the
Sleep,
shower.
go to
I
bed,
think,
clean
is,
yourself up, like
is the
ugh.
real thing. Where usually Sunday I'm like, all right, I just gotta
maybe
get to
some
the end
real
of this day.
food.
Sunday, this time Sunday I was like, oh, the game's over. Like
Next,
No fun, though.
next level hotel staying. When one of my teams in the past, we went to Irene 10 in Indiana, and so we all stayed at just a Holiday Inn, you know.
Okay,
This
yeah.
particular Holiday Inn had the pool and a hot tub and everything.
Word.
But that was where all the other airsofters were staying. So we get back to the hotel after day one's over, and we just run up to the rooms and strip off all our stuff and just head back down before everybody else gets in and just jump into the hot tub.
Like
and just-
ours.
Yeah, and then people are like, "How did you get back so fast?" And I'm like, "Get on our level." Yeah, like everything's quick with us. You gotta, and so we would jump into the hot tub and then jump into the pool and then jump into the hot tub and then somebody threw a bar of soap in the hot tub, so we had to leave.
That's lame.
That's something James would do.
Yeah, that's why I find it so funny.
Yeah, ruin everyone's good time. Thanks, James.
But it's okay because Lion Claws takes breaks every 3 hours, so it's not like we had a chance to get worn out anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Something at post-op that was kind of funny for me is we went on Saturday night. We went to the British Beer Company up the road from UBG.
Okay.
Fucking great food. I love it there.
It's funny because the British aren't usually known for their food.
Yeah, it's good there. It's me and Jake have made that our tradition now.
Got it.
Back in games, we go there. So good. And either way, is where the waitress is really so all the recon teams went there because obviously we all know each other at this point. And the waitress is really halfway through taking our orders, and she goes, "All right," like because we're still like have a little bit of face paint on us, it's still in our camo. I have like scratches galore because I had low crawled through some shit, and she just stops and she goes, "Are you guys okay?" We're like, "No, we're good." Oh my god, she was just had this look of concern because we all just looked beat to shit. It probably looked like with the face paint, it probably looked like we just took like some hits to the face, like,
Yeah.
black eyes and shit.
The
The
Avengers
people-
movie with the Shawana.
The hostesses of restaurants, whenever you show up in your airsoft gear, it's like so foreign to them. It's always so bizarre. Like down in Georgia, we went out to an Applebee's after the game, right across the street from our hotel, and we still have like our camo pants on, whatever. She's like, "You guys just come back from the." Like I'm like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
From the
From the Western shootout. That was actually bizarre. She sat us with another kid Like it was, we only 3 of us showed up because I mean it was a 17-hour drive, and it was kind of last minute when we all signed up, and so she's like, "Do you mind if I sit you guys with another person who is wearing camo? I'm assuming you guys were playing together." Like we didn't know, and the wait was long, and we're like, "Sure, whatever, fuck it." And we turned out this kid, he drove 8 hours by himself to play at this game, and we're just sitting there, and he's like a total weenie, and we're just like. Yeah, so like, what'd you do? Like, what are you in? Like, what team do you play on? Like, how'd you? He's like, yeah. So I kind of got assigned with a squad. Like, I don't really know any of them. I'm like, how far you drive? He's like, oh yeah, I drove from Oklahoma. It's like an 8-hour drive or some shit. And I'm just like, I'm like, all right.
Why?
So you drove alone. Like, you have no friends. You didn't even participate with the squad that you're in. Like, what the fuck are you really doing here? So that's the weird part of restaurants.
And then that story goes, yeah. So we invited them onto our squad to show them the ropes and everything. But really, how that just leaves off is you guys left and we're like, what a fucking weenie.
Yep, that's exactly how it went. Yep.
I was thinking that.
I love how we preach like take people under your wing, and then you're like, fuck.
And they're like, what a scrub.
Yeah, no. Well, that was also the night that I dropped my night vision, and that was also the same night that I bought a retention.
So upset.
Don't buy night vision. Don't have to drop night vision.
Yeah,
I
had one of the Wilcox mounts, and that's on a shuttle, and so it's either open or closed. When you snap it in. And the Norotos ones are different because they're on a spring, so you click it in, and then the only way that you can remove it is that. So I must have at one point, because Norotos Wilcox made the horrible decision of when you click it right here, right below it on a shuttle is your release for your night vision, and I didn't have a lanyard attached, and so that was off, and I hopped through a window, whole unit, arm and everything, right on the cement ground, and I fucked it up, but the tube still survived, but there was a gash across it. Which turns out to be a piece of the plastic thread. Yeah, I am taking the L on that one, Dan.
Took the L.
And I just, my whole night was fucked. And it was actually in the same room as like Jet the Desert Fox, and he's like all like nods down, like doing closing. He's like, yo, man, get up here. I'm like, I just dropped my night vision. I'm like, leave me alone. But I'm in no mood. Don't talk to me. Yeah, literally, that's what I was like. I'm like, don't talk to me right now. But
you're just getting shot in the chest, and you're like, ah!
I was like a little kid throwing a tantrum, and Greg talked me through it. He's like, James, this sucks. It's going to cost money, but you're still gonna have fun this weekend, right? And I'm like, yeah. It turns out I just fucked up one of the threads on it, and I just kind of carved it out, and I was able to re-screw in the retaining ring that holds the tube in, and my nods work fine now. It didn't cost me anything.
No, having those little blowouts at the game that just aren't game related, like you just start going into shutdown mode. Like that's happened to me at Pine Plains for obvious reasons, because when you stay up doing anything,
you're like you're on the edge like this.
Like you just forget large swaths of history. Just like there's 12 hours missing in your memory, and then so all of a sudden you end up at your current moment, and you're just sitting in the fetal position against the wall, going, "This fucking bullshit is terrible. I can't believe this shit." And I remember that because that was the moment one of my teammates gets down and he's like on his knees in front of me and he's like, Pat, okay, you're really upset, but I'm going to need you to stop being a little bitch right now. like, you're being a little bit of a bitch, okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I just got to... And then somebody comes down, hey, there's some stuff that we can have you do. Like, you want to do? I was like, yeah, I'll go do that stuff. And then it kind of snapped me out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, as the last point to the streams, we only got a few minutes left.
Snap.
Isaiah, is there anything either squad level or tan level you would like to see you guys do? Or squad level or team level you'd like to see you guys do better at Autumn Justice coming up?
Thank God for Des here to keep us on target with our conversation. This would be completely unrelated.
I can't wait till I can't come to a stream and I have to watch you guys do one.
Yeah, we got this. We can turn into cool stories and things that we might have done.
Yeah,
dude, like I almost took out that technical, but I got shot in the face. But I would have been there. I was ready. But I got shot.
See, look at we're already doing it again.
Let's swing back to what I was saying.
I mean, obviously, like within my squad level, like there's always things that we need to work on. But
stop jerking each other off all the time. Those cool for guys.
That's what we do best. But, team level wise, like as far as KOFOR, it'd be awesome if people just didn't quit.
You quit. You left early.
I mean. Ooh. At the last phase, that wasn't a me decision. That was everybody else was like, yeah, I don't want to play anymore. I'm like,
let me guess. Well, was it
it was a whole bunch of people. Like everybody was just everyone was demoralized from just getting
It
wrecked
was a
all the
group
time.
project, so you just kind of had
I'm
to
like,
go
whatever.
with it.
Like you guys don't want to play. Like whatever. I'm not gonna.
Literally, when you told
You
me that I
think
shot
about it.
Brennan in the face and you guys were like, all right, we're leaving, that made my day.
It wasn't immediately after that, but
Definitely a contributing factor. to that.
maybe. But as far as like vehicle wise, I know they said that they'll tan wise, like they're gonna have to be dedicated to go both days. So I know that's hopefully gonna be solved in the future, but we'll see.
Yeah, that kind of really that put a damper on my weekend when I found out that we weren't going to be running vehicles on Sunday because the other team didn't bring theirs. I was like, well, that's just bullshit. Because what happened
It's
was...
like, it sounds like a them problem, not a you problem.
Right, exactly. I was like, that's really too bad for the tan team then. No, so it was us on the Willies and then the Lancers with the Rover. And before we actually were briefed on it by Stag Ops, we said, if the Hummers don't show up, we'll just split up. You guys go to the other team, we'll stay on this team.
Oh yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, right. And then so we presented that to Cobalt, and he was like, actually, the commanders already talked about it. They don't want any vehicles at all. I'm like... Gonna have to disagree with you on
Like,
that
you
one.
put so much,
Yeah.
you put so much effort into bringing a vehicle. It's kind of
Did
disappointing.
you guys have your lifted Jeep, like the really sweet
No,
one?
but there's been talk of bringing that back.
That would be sweet.
I'm
but-
telling you,
That's one of my favorite
if
Jeeps.
anybody watching this stream has a lead on like one of those desert sand rail,
They don't
the
exist.
military things, I want one. I know they don't exist. I want one still.
I tried. But, no, because the reason it was such a letdown was because when we showed up on Saturday for the game, they told us, okay, no more pecker rounds, but we had like 50,
I don't know.
like
I
a couple
remember you telling me
cases.
We had like 20.
Yeah, our guy bought all of that and then just...
So we had these cases of rounds that we couldn't use, and we were like, well, why not? And they're like, because the Hummers don't like to use them. Like, motherfucker. Like,
The
so the
Hummers.
Hummers don't like to. We don't even have windshields. And we're like, so we're gonna reduce it down to the only vehicles that actually have windshields. That's ridiculous, but it makes sense because those things hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we're like, all right, we're going to be ready for day 2 then. So I go to Walmart and buy these foam golf balls that fit into a tag shell.
Perfect.
I buy like 30 of them. Like I just buy all of that. I bought out Walmart pretty much. And I get to work like making these things fit into the launchers and getting their launch characteristics perfect so that they'll have a flat trajectory. And then they're like, hey, so we're not having vehicles today. I'm like, but I just bought the thing that we can use to shoot the vehicle. It was...
Did you ever hear GMR's podcast after the Virginia game?
I think I heard parts of it.
We only have
Yeah.
a couple minutes left.
Oh yeah, no,
so
I'm just bringing it up. It's just
Who
that.
decides that you only have a couple minutes left?
Yeah, right. Well, it was just funny that kind of the same situation happened. At least from their point of view, it was just that the tan team kept switching up the rules of engagement for vehicles because the vehicles would complain that like, oh, well, they're denting our vehicles and they're doing this and that.
Street vehicles.
Yeah, they brought like the
Terrible
really nice
decision.
like 2017 Jeep, like fully kitted out, gorgeous. And every time that they would shoot them with something, they'd start complaining about it, in some way, shape, or form. And so like they had the
That's
same
something to monitor.
kind of issue, which was just like, what can I shoot you with? Like, how can I kill you? Because like apparently you just need to keep changing the rules on me. It's the base. It's the best.
Yeah, and then just having to hear that over the radio all the time. Like we have pictures here. I'm just going to bring this up real quick of our team's picture facing off against the very Jeep that you speak of, which actually leads to a pretty metal picture.
Yeah, I'll throw this on the other monitor so that the.
Oh, yep, that was in the second story, right?
That was actually the first level of that building.
The one with the gymnasium.
Yeah.
So this is the picture we're
Yeah,
talking
so
about.
what we're looking at here is a 4-door Jeep Wrangler with the most monstrous light bar setup I've ever seen. We're on the other side of these big picture windows, and they're waiting for us to come out, and we're like, we're not coming out.
Yeah, like no thanks.
We're flipping them off through the window. We're not coming out. But he would turn off his lights and then drive around. But we knew he had night vision because every now and then we would shine a laser and he would just beeline it right for us. So one of our teammates went outside to go take a leak against a tree or something, and so we all turned our lasers on to him. Like a shark in the water. This Jeep just comes over all of the entire, he doesn't even stick to the roads. He's going over grass and he's just coming, and our teammates just holding his wing in his hand, just like, ah! And he's like, open the door. There were so many stories like that. There was this other kid who wasn't even on our squad, and he was running for the door, and we're trying to get everybody in, and he's like, open the door, and he doesn't make it, and you can just hear the rounds hitting the door, and he's like, ah!
That guy in the Jeep he was an asshole, but he was kind of funny, because at 3 in the morning, he'd just roll around, and he'd be like, we're back! Because he had that fucking megaphone on it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's such a troll.
So, other than the stop at the meme softing, which I can't agree with more, is there anything you would see, or you would like to see, or Green do better for Autumn Justice?
I don't know, maybe run more.
Yeah.
Like
a little
lift
more
some weights,
aggressive.
work on their cardio.
I got in really good shape for that event too. I actually went for runs.
Nice.
On the treadmill.
What a waste, huh?
Yeah, it's really just one of those. I
got nice and buff to play LARPing Airsoft with BB guns.
What am I going to do with this incredible physique now? Oh well, I guess I'll just go sit at home.
Too untalented to play actual sports. Airsoft.
Come up, James, you're so sexy. Yeah, whatever.
It doesn't matter because they hate you playing Airsoft. That's all I've been working.
Oh my god. But like I said, so that's your big thing. Is a little more.
I wish that the green team was a little more physically active.
Yeah.
I should say, able to sustain themselves for longer periods of time without, going out for one engagement, going back to the CP and taking all their stuff off.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, count like that. I'm gonna add a little side note to that. People taking off all their gear once they get back, even if they're not planning on staying there for a long time, because as soon as you take off your gear, you're down for an extended period of time. If you're really going back out, just load your mags and get the fuck out, because otherwise you're just going to get settled down and talking and bullshitting, and then somebody pulls out an MRE and that's it for a half hour.
That was actually one thing that was a nice change. Is I didn't see all of fucking green at the CP every time I went back. Mm-hmm. We were out for solid 2 to 3 hours at a time, which was nice. It was definitely with the smaller head count this year, there was more room to maneuver around the field. Mm-hmm. So you could be like, oh, there's 3 of us, 30 of them. Yeah, we're gonna go a different direction. And, and it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna go a different direction. Oh, look, more tan.
Yeah. Oh wow, they formed a wall. That's pretty effective.
Which actually, that's something I would like to see green change a little bit. Is I guess 3 things, but all kind of related, is the always being on the roads frustrates me. Mm-hmm. There was less of it this year, but it was still pretty bad. And it's in the same thing, but green team is really good at engaging people the second they see them, even if they're 300 feet away. Yeah. They really suck at the
sometimes shooting is not shooting is the better option in a firefight.
Green is very bad at getting it, using the element of surprise to their advantage. They're like, look, there's a tan guy 1,000 feet away. Let me just throw pellets there and let them know I'm here.
Right. Let me burn off all my ammo. And
exactly. And it's push up. That's the big thing. Is every time you hear, I think even you meant, or I think it was Gordon that mentioned it in the group, is you hear all these complaints about hit calling, but it's usually when you think you're hitting somebody 250 feet away. Just push up close enough that you're hitting that person multiple times, so close there's no way they can't call it.
Right. Yeah. I've never really felt. There've been maybe at most a handful of times when I've been playing where I'm like, okay, I definitely got that guy. Because if I know that I definitely got that guy,
right,
then chances are I can probably get him about 100 more times.
Right.
But it's I play with the benefit of the doubt, knowing that brush there is a disaster,
right?
And that probably I'm not as good as I think I am, even at 25 rounds a second with a box mag. I'm like, maybe I'm just missing a bunch.
I remember I only had one incident that entire weekend in which I had a hit calling issue, and to be fair, it was 10 minutes into the game, and I know how people are right at Stardex. They don't want to be the first person to get killed.
Yeah, you don't want to go out like a punk bitch.
Right. So they're always it was one dude, it's actually kind of, because we mentioned ATACs, you get friendly fire at all the times, but it does work really well. Mm-hmm. I was literally just sitting there in a field, my gun up, and it had the ghillie on it, and all of a sudden I realized there's an entire tan squad walking towards me. And I'm like, I'm just going to stay here until they're fucking 25 feet away. And then a green squad came up behind me, just walking down the road, talking to each other. And I was like, guys, shut the fuck up. And the tan team got a hint of it, but they were still like slowly moving forward, and then the green squad just rolled up behind me, literally just like fucking yelling at each other, and I just turned around and like, motherfuckers, there's tan 70 feet right that way. Yeah. Get the fuck down. Of course, at that point, all the tan guys go down, but they still didn't know where I was. And there was a guy just standing there, like I said, like 40 feet from me, and I put 2 in his chest, and he just went. And just got to the ground. I'm like, all right. Yeah,
You suck.
I was like, but you know what? It's the start of the game. I get it.
In the real world, you would be laying in a pool of your own blood, so
Right,
it's cool.
Just shot some more and called it a day. But that's really the only issue I had all weekend. Overall, people were really good about it. Then I did have the funny, and these ones always just make me laugh, is remember I was shooting out of town towards some woods, and I had a line of sight in a very specific area that tan guys kept rolling through. And I'd fire a shot and it'd tag someone, I'd see him do and I'd shoot him again and they'd call hit. So it's always funny when you fire that one shot and you see the look of like...
They're like, did that actually just happen? Or
right.
right now? Or,
right, like, was it an acorn?
Yeah.
And then you hit him again and they go, oh, yeah.
That was a 400 feet per second ricochet.
But like I said, yeah, people overall good. But the other thing I want to see green team do, that tan team was so good at. I will always credit tan team to this.
Is it platoon movements?
Yes.
Yes.
It's the, like, you know, is...
And that just goes straight up to Boomer, their CEO. I've played for him before, and he's an excellent CEO.
Well, what I'm actually more talking is platoon size movement. Is when squads are moving, is you'll see like three or four green squads moving, and the first squad will, and they need to get halfway across the field. The first squad gets engaged, and they just everybody stops and locks down. And they don't even push forward. They just lock down where they are. No. Whereas tan team is really good at, okay, first squad, engage, keep heads down. Next 3 squads move through. Then the last squad just moves out.
Yeah, like everybody wants to get after it, but it's like, no, like... Or even if a squad's walking by a tan squad in the woods and they start taking pot shots or whatever, it's like, no, just keep going. They can't get it from here. They can't catch up to us. We have to go.
Yeah.
But no, they get locked down. They start engaging.
Right.
And then they just get picked off because, all right, they did the first part. They got into the engagement, but then they need to maneuver. They need to fire. They need to cover.
The tan team excels at that.
It really pisses me off.
And if green team did that, it'd be a whole different game.
It was like when I was commanding Milfor, we got we started getting to that level, but like a rocket reaches its apogee.
Yeah.
You get up there and it kind of hangs for a minute and then it comes back down, and all of a sudden you've got memes being made about you. They're more into the idea of you rather than like and it goes down and you're like, okay, well we were great up here, but now we're too cocky and confident, and we don't even have anything to back it up. So
just make memes.
And then it just plummets like a 20-foot crater into the ground. It plummets the crater, and then it keeps on going.
Now we're trying to dig ourselves out of this hole.
Yeah, and the next thing you know, there's this ridiculous-looking frog thing climbing out, going, "Feels good, man."
Right.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, if green, like I said, if green did that better, it'd be a whole different game. Like a perfect example is we're moving the last piece of the vector. Like again, another one of those I-beams up the field. There's a squad moving with us, and tan guys start like throwing pot shot at us from like 200 feet away, and the entire squad that's like supposed to be giving us security just like sits down and starts shooting the tan guys. And I'm like, the fuck are you doing? Like, we're going that way. But either way.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I just want to bring this one last thing up before we end the stream.
The fifth one last thing.
I don't even give a fuck. We're like an hour. We're like
one of those
an
movies
hour
that never ends.
45 in.
We only have a few minutes left in the live stream, you guys.
Yeah,
so
whatever. Pat made the point. It doesn't matter. You were saying ATACs, and I've mentioned this to people watching the stream before, is you get friendly fired in ATACs. It is what it is. But it works so well that I find myself, it's hard to not use it because I can just lie down and people walk past me. But
things that have never happened to me.
I've seen it happen to you. Bullshit.
I'm too offensive to actually lay down.
I remember, there was one time it was I think you and like a couple, I think it was like actually Autumn Justice, and a fucking tan squad was walking past us, and you do the smart thing that I actually do this now after seeing you do it, is you don't fucking stare at them and have your reflective lens like give you away, is you go like this, and fucking the tan squad walked right past you.
Okay, I think we remember that a little bit differently, but that's cool that you do that now and it works for you because it clearly didn't work for me.
Hey, either way,
Yeah.
it's you've been fucking maneuver around the field like no one else.
I've been able to do things every now and then, but
Yeah.
they're very sporadic. And you know what's funny? A lot of people have these weird stories that they tell about me that they're like, dude, I saw you like 50 feet away. I went behind a tree, and you were standing right behind me. And I was like, wow, cool. Like, keep telling your friends that. Or even Foden one time had a story from Durkee. He was like, dude, you came into this building and you pulled a pistol. You didn't even look at me, and you shot me on the second floor. Like, I walked in, held my pistol up like that, and shot him on the second. And he swears that happened. I'm like, that didn't happen. He's like, no, it happened. I'm like,
Sure.
all right.
But
Love that guy.
either saying like the ATAX was being the friendly fire. The 2 times I was friendly fire this weekend were both just hilarious. There was one point we walked through a green squad, went around a corner. The green squad came around the corner, and a dude shot me in the back. And I was like 30 feet away from him. And I turn around. I'm just like, what? And he's like, oh, you're green. You look tan. I was like, yeah, I know. Please come medic me.
Sorry, bro. My bandages. That's it. You know what? Actually, that's a point I want to bring up. Whenever somebody friendly fires somebody on their own team, to put their fucking red rag on and leave, because like I've seen. It was last year at Autumn Justice where this kid came up and shot me in the back. I'm like, motherfucker, we're facing the same direction. Shot me in the back, said, sorry, I couldn't see that well. And then he keeps going, he shoots my other teammate in the back.
Oh my god,
too.
are you kidding me?
That's just dreadful.
Like I feel like if you team kill somebody,
You
should call yourself out.
Yeah.
You should
Like
go
even
away.
if you both call yourself out,
Yeah,
then you just say, okay, my bad.
like I'm an idiot.
Yeah, like
idiot penalty here.
like I'm going to pay for that one.
But yeah.
Yeah. I got so heated when I was back when I was green and I wore the ATAX. I was sneaking up with my saw on a group, and then suddenly friggin' that one's for you.
What's it say?
Those 3 tan lines are on point.
Yeah, that's spring offensive right there.
Yeah, seriously.
But I got friendly fired from behind, and I turned. I was like, I put on my red light. Like, who the f did this? I was like, you get your goddamn medic over here.
Yeah,
You
right.
put a goddamn band up. You're gonna fix this shit up.
Well-
you fucked up big time.
So yeah, exactly.
That
That's
was
just
just
so
Like
funny.
the angry
Retarded.
mom.
It's,
Like, I was like, you gotta come over here and clean up your mess, because I'm not gonna
Well-
clean it up for you.
This is turning into The View really quick.
right?
I'm mad.
So,
On that.
so that's part. So the squad medics me, and I'm like, all right, whatever. We walk like 500 feet down the trail, and we run into a QF squad who's like an engagement. And I get low. I'm next to him. I'm like, all right, where are the guys at? Like, I'll go maneuver. And I get shot in like the ear. And I'm like, fuck, hit. And I look over, and it's one of the QRF guys behind a tree. And I look over at him, and I just give him that look like, come on. And he goes, fuck. I'm like, thanks. Oh, God. It was just funny. But we should probably end the stream at this point. Dan, do you want to, since James started it, do you want to give the end of stream announcements?
Yeah, alright, so. Oh, that's not nice. He just was like, F you, Chuckles. Wow, that's not nice. Okay, anyways. So, swap meet this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Gonna be lit. All you gotta do is pay $5. Bring your own table. You get to sell all your old Airsoft crap for 7 hours, hawking your wares. There are people that are gonna be playing here. We're gonna have normal gaming from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. So there will be a bunch of people here, hopefully. Just call us in reserve. We'll probably be taking walk-ons. We do have a few spots open. And then July 2nd, make sure you mark off your calendars. We're going to be having Follow the Rising Sun. It's a World War II based game. It's going to be focused on the Pacific Theater. It's going to be a lot of fun. James is writing that one. It's going to be very interesting to see what he comes up
Gonna
with.
be lit.
So he says.
Maybe.
And then June 18th, I think, is actually Father's Day gaming. It's a little ways out, but if you bring your father and they pay for an admission for their child, they get to play for free. They'll obviously have to pay if they're pay for rentals or whatever, but the father gets to play for free if any of the kids bring them and they pay for that admission. So there you go.
Yeah,
But
But yeah, it's awesome. So that's what's coming
That's
up.
what's up.
But yeah, and thanks for joining us, Pat.
Thanks for
It was,
watching. Yeah,
definitely
it was great
fun
for you to
stream.
make the troop down.
All right.
That was cool. And Dad was like, "Oh yeah, Pat's coming." I'm like, "No fucking way he is."
It's always been in the back of my mind, but now I actually had the day off.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well, it's originally
awesome.
we were gonna do this like tomorrow night because like that way we can clean the field and shit. And
would
you're
have
like,
been able to do it.
I was like, and then you were like, "Oh, I can come down." I was like, "Nope, we're doing this Monday."
Yeah. I
But,
did move a few bodies around to clean the field, but
it's fine.
It's all good.
But once again, oh yeah, we right. But thanks again, guys, for watching. Hopefully, I know it was a little bit of a longer stream than usual, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Watch our Thursday video in which you'll be reviewing the.
This Thursday, actually, we're doing the first video we're going to be putting up is, or the next video we're going to be putting up
that's right.
is
Yeah.
a tech tips one. So it's going to be a beginner's guide on my gun's not firing or working. How do I fix it?
Right,
So it's going to go over some basic tips. If you're somebody who doesn't necessarily know a lot about an airsoft gun, you just bought one and you're not sure, like, my gun's not firing, rather than just coming into the store, which is a common problem we see. Kids are just like, hey, my gun's not working, and that doesn't tell me anything, because then you have to go through
Right,
the
that way you don't
entire
need to come out of
steps.
the game either. You can just
Exactly. You can be like, oh, is it a dead battery? Did I remember to plug in
It's
my
like
battery?
the
Is my gun
Airsoft version
jammed?
of Tap Rack Bang.
Yeah, right. No, it really is though. That's what it's going to be. But yeah, stay tuned for that on Thursday. Hopefully it'll come out in time this week.
Yeah,
And,
we're actually ready. So
yeah, right.
we'll be
And
ready.
thanks very much for watching, guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully see you this weekend.
All right, see you guys.
Team
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys.